So this section is what I originally thought I was going to show you when I found this folder, forgetting that the stereograms and the written pieces were in here. And this is pretty much the only drawings I have left from my childhood that I drew myself. I think I mentioned before that I had some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles stickers for a sticker album. I know the album was never completed, but apparently I kept a couple of the stickers just because. And yeah, so I'm just going to go through and hold up some of these. In fact, I'll probably zoom in some of these different drawings that I made. So this one here, this first brown one, is actually quite unique because, whoops, well, I think I might have better success holding it up, but it was written on a brown paper that used to cover my Spanish book. And you can see I used whiteout for the eyes and the teeth of Leonardo. Leonardo is the leader of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He's got a sword in his hand. Now the reason that it's cut out in this weird shape is because I had doodled all over the cover of my book, and I think this was the only picture that I thought was good enough to save. And amazingly enough, on the back of this I wrote Spanish 3-4 book cover. So Spanish 1-2 is your first year of Spanish, Spanish 3-4 is your second year of Spanish. It actually says 1990 to 1991. So this maybe, we'll see, but I think this is probably one of the only pieces that I put a date on of where it came from. If I hadn't put that, I would have said this came from the cover of my chemistry book, which is another different story. Okay, this is a tracing sheet that I did of the ElfQuest characters from the ElfQuest comic that I talk about in one of my written sections. And I basically just laid this on top of the book and traced them. And then I worked on, I did this because I was trying to get my own hand used drawing, but it's got some of my favorite characters: Red Lance, Skywise, Petalwing, Sava, Lita, Cutter, One Eye, Tree Stump, and Two Edge. So it's a tracing, not a drawing, but I thought it was good enough to keep anyway. And you know what? Actually, I don't know if you can tell, but I did the tracing in pen and then I colored it and shaded it with pencil. So no training, no idea what I'm doing, but it's not too bad, I think. Actually, it's pretty good. Oh. Huh. Wow. Okay, so this one, it says, "Have a happy Easter." And there's an Easter bunny holding a knife, cutting off someone's head. It says, "Ha ha," right here. And you can see by the printing, this was done on a dot matrix printer. On the back, it says Ron Smalek 5, which must have been period 5. And then ha 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 was kind of the back of my greeting card. On the inside, so it said Happy Easter or else. And there's the character again, ha ha ha. I think this was done in 7th or 8th grade computer class. We were using some sort of publishing software at the time on Apple II somethings. And I created the graphic, and the task was to create a greeting card. I won't be surprised if there are more of those in here, because once I got on a roll, I went overboard and created a lot of them. Okay, this is the first example of this is Splinter the Rat. I don't know what this is. This side's going to be a better example. You see Splinter down here, and you see Turtles up here fighting. And they're kind of like stick figures, but they're accentuated with circles to be turtles swinging bow staves. You see Donatello here swinging his bow staff overhand, and Leonardo blocking with his two swords. This is inside the Turtles training area, and Splinter is saying, "Good, good." And here is Michelangelo with his nunchucks on top of Raphael, pinning him down. So this is how a lot of my drawings were. Like I said, I couldn't draw figures very well, the proportions. And instead of drawing stick figures, I kind of compromised and drew this sort of shadowy turtle. I used to draw these shadow turtles. So here's a whole page just kind of full of them. We've got some turtles and some Foot Clan fighting it out. And then right in the middle is actually Leonardo, who I think Donatello was always my favorite, but for whatever reason I was drawing Leonardo at the time. And then up at the top, okay, so this was on a Spanish, this was the bottom half of my Spanish notes. I think I ripped off the top with my actual Spanish notes on them, and I can tell because it says traducción or tradition, and below that I wrote Attack of the Shadow Warriors. So I used to doodle on my notes in school, kids. This one, again, see how it's kind of ripped out? Because whatever else was on this page wasn't very good, but this is just an ink turtle. It's a little too dark for my taste. Here's some more of those stickers. Oh, and the sticker album had a 3D red and blue glasses thing to it. This one as well. So this says notes up here. So this was the corner of some notes I took in some class, and there's a turtle, Leonardo putting his sword through some block of something. If I have to guess, I probably wrote something here and then crossed it out and tried to hide it under a drawing. I can't quite make it out, so maybe not. It probably said, like, I don't know. I think this Slidoscope went with the 3D. Here is definitely more Spanish notes. Oigo, oyes, oye, oimos, etc. There's a little turtle on that side, and this side says, how do you say turtle? How do you say turtle? And then there's like a horse. I don't know who that horse character is, but there's Donatello with the bow staff. Oh, yes. This is one I hope you'll see a lot of. I'm going to show it to you first. What this is, and it's another page where I had probably notes up here that I ripped off and the drawing down here. This was the bottom of a skyscraper. Down at the bottom there's a pile of leaves and there's a rake leaning up against the building. And the rake's kind of got a shadow effect on it. I don't know if you can see it too well. I probably drew this 100 times. And I don't know if this is an early drawing or a later drawing, but I think I liked the rake in this one. And on top of the building, what you don't see here is a picture of myself, although it was kind of like my avatar at the time. There really wasn't such a thing, but jumping off the top of the building down into this high skyscraper, into this little pile of leaves here. And I'm hoping I'll be able to find the full picture. But this was an image that I had for a long time in high school that I iterated on over and over again. Oh my goodness. This is some like math notes, sine, cosine, Taylor series, McLaren series, I don't remember. This might be high school, it might not. I wrote McLaren series big deal, meaning it is a big deal, you need to know what it means. So here is that avatar that I mentioned, and what it is it's a kid, a fairly skinny kid, with obviously angel wings and very long flowing hair. Here he's jumping up, so the hair is going the wrong direction, but regardless of that, the thing to point out here are these shorts. So I used to wear, and I got these shorts I think in 6th or 7th grade, and I wore them until they fell to pieces. They were black shorts down to my knees, and the cuff right above the knee level, I don't know if you can see it here, the cuff right above the knee level was a black and yellow diagonal stripe, like a caution stripe. They were some type of cheap skateboarding shorts that I just was in love with. So I would have my black and yellow shorts, my pink Circus hat, and probably some kind of t-shirt. And I just used to draw myself doing things wearing that. And the body on this one, you can see the body is like way too elongated. The proportions of the legs are too small. I sucked at drawing people. Now this one, okay, so this is this side is probably not what I wanted to save, but you can just see all kinds of little random scribbles on here, and up here or down here you can see the word deist and noise, noise, noise. So I think this might have actually been, I'm not sure. This doesn't feel right, but I did have a theology class when I started my third year of school, and this could have been very early in that class because I know I didn't attend the last half of the class. But this could have been my notes. This here says Swakamahani. Swakamahani. I wonder if that was a tribe or something. But anyway, the thing I wanted to save is on this side. So this is that avatar. This may be one of the only drawings of him coming at you at the camera. And I'm hoping you can see it. He's kind of got his arms outstretched with the wings, and then he's in the shadow of his foot is a spider, and he's stepping on a spider. And I've got this note over here that says his arms are too short, because if you look at it, his arms are way too short for this picture. Hopefully you can see that. But there's those shorts. You see the diagonal stripe. I don't know what kind of shoes those were. It looks like a bullseye steak. What do you call those kind of steaks? But I don't know what shoes those were. Okay. Yeah, so here he is again. This time he's a kind of a stick figure on top of the building with the rake down below. And then here he is sort of on one knee, bending over, like, I don't think he's mooning you. I think I put too much accentuation in the clothing, but I guess the wind is blowing this direction. And then here he is again, standing with his back to us, and for some reason he's got handcuffs hanging down and his hair is wildly flying up. And his socks are like pulled up to his calves. It's ridiculous. And then down in the bottom, down here, I got this little guy. He kind of looks like a scarecrow-ish sort of Nightmare Before Christmas guy. I don't know what that is. I don't think I drew him too often. And then here's, like, I guess the planet Earth with like a weird symbol on it. I don't know what that is either. But yep, see, I used to draw this avatar over and over. Oh, speaking of, wow, okay. So here's a whole sheet of him. Here he's at the top, and he's in, even though the perspective is furthest away here, he's dark. And then it gets lighter down below, and you can barely even see the rake at this point, the leaf pile. And then I drew a street grate on this one, so the curbside grate. And so the whole image is he's falling from this high height down into this little pile of leaves, and he's going to be safe. And on the back side, I've got, again, the building with the rake down there. This time the pile of leaves, no curb. The building goes up, and he's kind of, it looks like he's just about to fall over with his arms outraised. And then here off on the side is him falling head first down the side. Here he is sitting with his arms and legs crossed, head down. Here he is again bent over on one knee. Now look at this, is interesting. On the back, like, see his hair is flowing down here. On the back of his head, it looks like the back of his head is shaved. I've got some bristle back there. I did have a mullet, and I don't think that's a mullet. That's like someone who's got their hair shaved all around the side, long on top. That's a little different. This is stationery from that computer class, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles stationery. I created TMNT by Ron. And then down at the bottom, it's just some fancy font by Ron Smilik.